Hello there, and a very warm welcome to you, and welcome back if you're a regular, and if you're new here, then I'm delighted to have you in this space. Today we are going to look into the question of what self-awareness a narcissist has, and the video is based on a question that I've received from a wonderful member of our e-community who has asked on the back of experiencing narcissistic abuse, not only from a romantic partner, but also from someone in their friendship group. So their question is, if a narcissist does everything for their own malicious intent, does it mean that they have the self-awareness to also be aware of what they're doing, even if they have little to no empathy? I always wonder, they say, when they put their head on the pillow at night and are alone with their own thoughts, do they truly, really have that awareness of what they're doing to others? A single ounce of empathy even? It's a really good question, and for those of us who are not narcissists, it can take a lot of getting our head around how a narcissist functions. But I think the first biggest point to take on board is to remind ourselves that they don't have any true self-awareness. They live in a world that they fabricate. They believe their own narrative and they don't look inside of themselves. It's too ugly in there. They don't want to know what they look like on the inside. They have created a shell, a mask, a persona, so that they don't even see that true version of themselves. And they only reveal that true version of themselves to a small number of people if they're covert. If they're an overt narcissist, then of course more people see who they are and what they are. The second point I want to remind you of is that a narcissist doesn't deliberately and with deliberate intent plan what they're going to do, what they're going to say. They are driven by these internal forces, these drives that want to protect them, to make sure that they will never again be hurt. So they aren't aware of what they're doing. They are just responding to drives inside of themselves that have been created from adversity, trauma, whatever happened to them early in their life. But that pain, that sadness is now so deeply buried that they have no awareness of the connection between their past suffering and their intent, their innate intent now to make other people suffer in order to be in control. And as we know, control is the primary driver of a narcissist. Without control, they feel unsafe. They start to feel pain, which they cannot bear. So they will lash out. They will say things and do things to hurt others, because it's far easier to project all of this bad stuff, these evil intentions. And I'm not saying that narcissists are evil. Their behaviour can very often be evil, but I don't think it's right to call a narcissist an evil person per se. So they are driven to project onto others because, of course, it's easier to project than to hold something that is painful, that may make us feel sadness or suffering. It's far easier to push this onto somebody else. So they don't plan their behaviour, they are just constantly responding to two primary urges. One, as I've just said, to control, and the other one is to get that supply of attention, adoration that they absolutely need. It's their lifeblood. So they have this cycle and circle of behaviour that will at one time be about drawing people into their world, attracting partners, friends, connections who are going to give them the supply. So that will be through a form of love bombing. And then once that person starts to see through the narcissist, or the time goes on so much that the narcissist is unable to keep that mask on, it will slip, and their bad behaviour, the gaslighting, the manipulation, the attempts to hurt people start to take place. And then when there is that realization on the part of their victim, their supply, that the person they once thought was their soulmate or their ideal customer or business partner or the friend they'd been looking for all their life, when the narcissist sees that the other person is starting to see them for who they are, then they will move on to other supplies, because they will always have supplies waiting in the wings. They can never be without that supply of adoration, attention, etc. They will either then love bomb once more to try and reel you back in, or they will discard you because they will be moving on to other supplies. But all of this is driven from inside of them. They don't sit there writing out plans of who they're going to target, what they're going to do. They are responding to these urges that were created, as I said before, on the back of stuff that happened to them early in life. And there was an unconscious decision within them to never let anyone hurt them or abuse them again. And they do this, of course, by hurting and abusing others. So, in answer to that question, when they lay their head on their pillow at night, they are only going to see the world through their own eyes, through their narrative, and they see you as good or bad. They don't see the grey areas, and they don't have that ability to reflect on what they have done, on the part they may have played in any behaviour, in anything that you did or said. So they will lay their head on their pillow and they will sleep like a baby, because in their world they are perfect. If there has been any conflict, then it will be because of you, because of the other person. It will never be because of them, and therefore they have nothing to disturb their thoughts as they drift off into a blissful sleep. totally unaware, totally uncaring of anyone else in the world who may be suffering as a result of their actions. So that's the sad truth of how a narcissist operates and how they are unable to look inside and have any self-awareness. I hope that answers your question, and I hope that that provides some useful insights to other people watching this video. If you have a question you'd like me to answer in a future video, pop a comment or drop me a DM, and I will certainly do my best to answer your burning questions. Until next time, take really good care. Bye for now.